Hello and welcome to another Crafter's Toolbox. This time we'll be working on a bit of an advanced technique that will add depth and dimension to a single layer card. And the inspiration for today's toolbox is this card that I recently completed. And you can see that it just looks like these little droplets are sunk back in and it's popping off the page. But really, it's just a single layer. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. It does take some time, which is probably why I would call it an advanced technique. You just need to have patience and the willingness to try and try again until you get the desired look that you want. So I've already set up my panel here, and I just did, this is on hot press watercolor paper, and I'm using it because it's super smooth, and so it will take the graphite really easily. And I did a stencil technique with watercolor to get this background. And then the next step that I did is I took my white Sakura pen and I just outlined the little droplets all along the way so that I would have really good lines to work from. So to start adding in depth, I have two graphite pencils here. One is a 2B and one is an 8B. An 8B is softer, therefore will make darker marks more quickly. And you can kind of, I don't know if you can tell that here, but this is the 2B or the 8B. And when I wrote 8B, it came out really dark. Whereas when you look at 2B, which I did in the same method and then wrote out the letters 2 and B, you can tell that it looks a little lighter. So I'm going to use the 2B today because the 8B is just going to get me way too much graphite and it will be really hard to work with. So I'm going to use this pencil. And then I have these other little things here. These are just rolled up pieces of like newsprint paper. These are called tortillon. If it's like a solid pressed paper, it's called a blending stub. So I have a couple of different sizes here, and these will just help me get into little nooks and crannies to blend out. And then I have this other thing here, which is just a knead eraser, which is really fantastic for working with graphite because all you have to do is take a little bit of it if you need to. You can kind of mold it into the shape that you need if you need to get into a crevice or whatever, but you can just press and it will start picking up the graphite. So if you end up getting things a little too dark, you can always pull up a little bit of the graphite. And then all you do, you can put it back into the whole thing and just knead it up a little bit, and that helps absorb the graphite. And then the eraser is good as new. This is, it's a fun toy to play with, and it just works really great. So I don't know that I'll get through the whole thing in today's video because this is a lot of coloring. But it does show you, I will show you how to achieve this effect. Now, what you should already be seeing is that like these three right here, and then now this fourth one are starting to get some depth to them. And you're going to see that it doesn't really take a lot of work or a lot of graphite to get this result. The key is really knowing how much graphite to apply and then using your blending stumps or tortilla effectively. So I have a light source that is kind of coming from this direction. So all of my shadows are going to be to the lower right here. And I need to keep that in mind in order to give it a cohesive look. So like this next one, I will start right here. I just start by making a very light line, as light as I can with the pencil that I'm using. Very thin line too. And then I'm just going to come back in with my smallest one. This is the 3/16 because this is a pretty small droplet here. And I'm just going to swirl. Just little tiny swishes. So you can get very zen because you're just going to be doing this whole process over and over and over again. So see how that looks. And I can see that I went over my white gel pen line here. And if I want to get rid of that, I just take a little piece of my eraser, get it soft, and then I can either press and dab, or since it's on the outside and I don't have any other pencil marks going on anywhere else, I can just use it like a regular eraser and just get rid of it. And then come back in with my blending tool here and blend back into that corner. Now, if I feel Well, what I'm going to do here first is just blend this out a little bit more so it's not such a hard edge. It kind of fades. And if I feel like I need to have dark, a darker edge, I can come back in and just do a little light charcoal there. Okay, so let me just show you exactly what I was doing. So I just made a line like so, whatever. And then I come back with the blending stump and make little circles. And you can see how it just starts to pull that graphite down and blend that line out. All right, so that's basically all there is to that process. And you can see I didn't use very much and it blended out really far. And of course, there's leftover graphite on the ends of your blending tools, so that helps uh, get a little bit more in place quicker. So let's do another one. And again, I'm going to use this smallest blending tool to get right in the edge there. And then I just make some little swirls as I go along. Pretty neat, right? So this one especially, you can see that it really looks like you could almost walk into this little droplet. So like I said, this is a lot of fun. I would do it if if you have some time and you want to explore adding depth to your projects. You can do this with all sorts of different shapes. Of course, it doesn't have to be this droplet shape. You can do all sorts of different shading. If you did different shading, you can make these look three-dimensional with like a highlight on them, and they would look like little beads of water. Instead of being recessed, they would look like they were popping off the page. It's a real opportunity to marry a few different artistic disciplines together. So like realistic coloring and drawing with stamping and ink and all that stuff. So it's a really fun way to kind of cross over and take your projects to the next level. So I'm going to finish up here with just a little bit of music. I hope you enjoyed learning how you can add some detail and fun dimension to a one-dimensional single layer card. And I hope you subscribe to my channel because I've got lots of great videos and I've got more coming each week. So please do subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. All right, guys, so I'll send you out with some speed coloring, and I hope to see you again here for another Crafter's Toolbox soon. But until next time, happy crafting.